Hey everyone, we're the Martians, Group 12, and we're actually here to present our product called InstaFind. And I guess I want to start things off with, have you ever lost something? I mean, I lose things all the time. In fact, actually a lot of times I don't know what I've lost until I actually go and try to look for it. And so we decided to build a product that would help users not lose stuff anymore and actually, therefore, have more control over their home, their life, and their possessions. So when we decided we wanted to pursue this, we found that when users are looking for something, so this is part of our research, and we found that when they were looking for something, they always end up referencing it to an object's location they know. For example, where's your homework? Oh, it's on the table, or it's in your room, or it's on your bed. So that is, there's a fixed object whose location that you actually know, and this unknown object whose location is in reference to a fixed location. And we found that that was a more human and more natural way of providing directions. And we incorporated that into our design by having reference points that objects can have a relative locationing to. And then when the user actually searches for them on the application, they have a direction or information that matches their mental model of their house and the placement of things inside their house. So we started with the possession management service for the home. Essentially, a user can tag individual items with a physical tag, and it enters them into a database. And you can access the database through a phone application and stuff. And around your home, you actually set up landmarks, which are fixed sensors with placed locations that you actually know where these landmarks are. These are fixed locations in your house that you have a mental model of. And these communicate with the tags. So when you're actually looking for a tag, the tags go, okay, which landmarks am I near? And then they reply to these landmarks. And the landmarks then relay back to another unit called the hub, which then processes this information and relays it back to the phone application, which handles the visualization and the processing.
The system works using three essential components: the hub, the landmark, and the tag. The hub connects to a web server using a Wi-Fi chip to send and retrieve data from the web server. That data is coming from the app or stored in the database and is used to help determine what tags and what landmarks are being used throughout the system. The hub also controls all radio communication throughout the entire system. So it tells the tags when they're allowed to communicate. It also tells the landmarks when it needs to respond. The landmarks themselves are very simple in design. They simply respond to radio communication from the tags and from the hubs, and upon request from the hub will respond with a yes or a no whether they picked up a tag. The tags are even simpler. All they do is sit and wait for a command, whether that's play a sound, or whether it's blink a light, or whether it's to broadcast out a radio frequency for the landmark to pick up. With the simple design of the tag requested, we have optimized our circuit to run off of the minimum amount of battery possible. We use an Arduino Pro Mini. That way we use the least amount of power needed to provide everything we need for the circuit to run. We have an RF transmitter and an RF receiver, both pulling off of the 6-volt ramp. There's a speaker also set up on the board. That way sound can be played whenever wanted.
The hub, the landmark, and the tag being the three most important components of our application, it is important to see how they actually communicate with each other. So let's say, as a user, I go on my phone, I go, okay, I'm looking for my keys. Now what happens is that the hub tells every single tag and landmark to stop what they're doing and reset. Now, the hub sends a message to this tag, so this tag is actually specific to the key itself, and says, okay, you're the one that's being looked for, do what you need to do. Now, the hub can also send a message saying, oh, make sure you turn your speaker on or make sure you turn your speaker off, depending on what the user actually clicked on their app or not. And then after that, the hub waits. Now what the tag does in the meantime is the tag goes, okay, I'm being looked for, I'm going to broadcast a signal that I'm here out to anything within my range. Now what landmarks do is landmarks pick them up and landmarks store that information. They say, okay, this is the last guy that talked to me, I'm going to keep that information on hold. Now, after the tag is done broadcasting, the hub actually goes and asks each and every single one of the landmarks what the last ID of the message they looked for was. So all landmarks that say, oh, the last guy that messaged me was the tag with that specific ID, the hub now knows that that landmark is actually within, that tag is actually within range of that landmark. So now what the hub has is a list of landmarks that the tag is within a range of, thereby providing a more precise location. For example, if the tag is here, there's landmarks here, 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 and here that may have picked it up, but a landmark over there may not have. And now the hub knows this information and it relays it back to the application, so the user has a more defined location for their object. So Danny hid my calculator and my headphones all throughout the 6th floor of E5, but he said that they were near some landmarks, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot by using Instafind to try and find them. So over here is the main page of the application, which contains the 2 tags I'm looking for that have been registered, the calculator, the headphones. So I'm going to go ahead and try and find my headphones. So it says that they've been last seen at 5:36, so right now, near the Design Studio Black Lockers, but I don't actually remember where they are nearby, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the sound, and let's go take a look. Okay, so near the Black Lockers. Okay, so I hear the sound. Okay, so that's where the landmark is. So, okay, so I think, alright, so my headphones are actually right here. Thanks, Dan. So I found my headphones, and I'm going to start looking for my calculator right now. So over here, I have my calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it says, near the lost and found. Okay, so when I was last looking for it, I also had the sound on, and the application already remembered that. So I'm going to go ahead and start looking for my calculator. It looks like it is lost and found. Oh, there's my calculator right there. Oh, and I guess that's where the landmark for the lost and found was. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and now I have all my stuff. Alright, so I guess the demo showed that with Instafind, you're able to find objects relative to landmarks over very large locations, such as the 6th floor of E5. So, the way it works is simple. You have tags which communicate to landmarks, which are fixed positions that the users decided, and all of that gets relayed to the hub, which updates the app and shows you where the object that you're looking for actually is relative to these landmarks. So it uses radio frequencies to communicate between the hub, the landmark, and the tag, and it uses a regular Wi-Fi server HTTP protocol to communicate between the hub and the application. And as long as items are tagged and within range of landmarks and hubs, you should have full control of your house and all the objects within it.